Hello, my name is Randy Detrick. I'm the son of Sandy Detrick, husband to my beautiful wife Tiffany, and the proud dad of 3 spectacular children. My mission is to add value to others. I believe in the power of the human spirit, and thank you for listening. If you enjoyed today's podcast, please share with a friend. Help me spread the good, the clean, the pure, the positive. When there is hope in our future, there is power in our present. Here we go. I have a super special podcast for y'all today. Oh my gosh, guys, I'm down in Allentown, and I'm sitting here with Shawn and Josh. They own Strategic Wealth Alliance. It's an investment firm here in Allentown, and they are changing the conversation about money. You know, rather than talking about dollars and cents, they're talking about what makes sense for the time of our life. And isn't that a better conversation to have? I love this more than anything, guys, because who wouldn't want to talk to a financial advisor whose primary concern is about maximizing the time in your life? How many people do you know they put off, only to never? You know, my mom would say to me when I was a kid, she'd go, Randy, make sure you die empty. I go, geez, Mom. She goes, yeah, don't die with one dream left inside of you. You get them all out, chase them all. So guys, I have a super special conversation for you here. You know, life really is all about chasing dreams. And I got Shawn sitting with me here, Josh is here. And I want to open this by saying, guys, what caused the dream of strategic wealth?
So first off, I just want to say thanks, Randy, for having us on today. I appreciate you, my friend. I think every person, when it gets into the business realm, starts it from a place of something they've gone through. Mm-hmm. So for me personally, I think what's made me successful in this business is I've been on both sides of the business. Mm-hmm. I grew up, essentially raised in unfortunately a broken home. Mom and dad got divorced when I was a young child and had to struggle to make things end, and just seeing how important financial is. Mm-hmm. And what I've learned in my life is I'm trying to kind of give that stability to people, but not mm-hmm. only to people, but also to my own family. I think it's super important. I think for most people, we put money away, but I always say if you put $10 million away and you die at 60, I don't think anybody would consider our life fulfilled. For us, I know for me and Josh, we speak heavily on this. It's not what you do with money, it's what you do at the time.
Yeah.
So with you. So for me, this all started from that piece of it, right? I started back in 2006, got involved with a company called Wells Fargo, Wachovia at the time.
Yeah, of course.
Realized in that realm very quickly that the corporate world wasn't for me. I just thought my time was way more valuable than someone was willing to put on, per se, my value. Went independent and kind of had this idea of, can I touch people with my story, testimony? Mm-hmm. I found in this industry, just like your industry, people don't buy, I think you said it so great when I met you, they don't buy your wine, they buy the experience. Mm-hmm. I think anybody that's in the realm of sales, because that's really what we're talking about here, mm-hmm. is that's so true in all walks of mm-hmm. life. People mm-hmm. aren't buying the rate of return from us. They're buying the experience they have with us, the trust. And I think, me and Josh pairing up, that was a real big turning point for us. Because mm-hmm. you had 2 unique individuals that shared the same testimony, reaching out to people across the valley, and I would say 2 is better than 1. And to be able to kind of pair that up with both of our stories and being able to touch people has been just an awesome experience.
Yeah. Shawn, you must have had a really challenging childhood, because I know this about life: the world needs balance. Yeah. So as difficult and as challenging as something is over here, when the pendulum swings, it's all that all the way over there. And strategic wealth is huge. I mean, this place is beautiful. You guys have it going on. I mean, the team you built together, they're all like-minded. They all have great synergy together. I mean, it's an amazing team.
Yeah, appreciate it. I mean, I think everyone has a story. Mm-hmm. I always say those were the most impactful days for me. Mm-hmm. Growing up trying to figure out how I was going to pay for lunch. Right. Always had parents that cared, but just that struggle. Yeah. And then when I got into my early 20s, I struggled with, I think, what 90% of America struggles with, which is I wanted the success. I just didn't know how to go about doing mm-hmm. it. And I knew that I wasn't a good steward with my own money. Mm-hmm. So the best way to do it for me was just learning how to handle my money.
So can I say this? Can I go back 2 sentences? Yeah. Because a lot of people get whacked in life with stuff as a child. Yeah. And instead of going, I'm going to overcome this, they go, woe is me. And they retract. And they just kind of wallow. What influenced on you that caused you to go, I'm going to overcome this, not wallow within it?
It's actually a really interesting question, if I'm being honest.
Right. I mean, that's...
For me, it was when and it's so funny we just talked about this. So I wrote a book in 2017.
It's awesome.
And it was called In Layman's Terms. And it was essentially...
It's called In Layman's Terms?
In Layman's Terms. Yeah,
awesome.
My last name. And the book was my forgiveness letter.
Huh.
So I just grabbed a pen one day and just started writing. Wow. And, for me, getting over that hump of saying, hey, I have an opportunity here to make this a better ending, and not deal with the variables that were placed on me. And sure. I feel like when I wrote that book, when I got done writing the book, which took me 2 months, I was a different human being.
Right.
I had gone through a massive mental transformation, which was say, hey, there's things I could just be excuse driven and say, well, hey, it's just not meant for me. And I was more of like, no, this is my calling. I've got to get out to people and realize that life is short. And I'm going to get around individuals that share like-minded ideas with me and drive a cause. Yeah, right. And really to start meeting with people, not based on, again, I never really cared about how much money someone has. It was more about, do you align with the beliefs I believe in? Which is, are you family oriented? Right? Are you someone that's a believer? Do you believe in the same things that I believe in? And I will tell you, since I've done that, my business is 20x'd. Wow. Just having purpose and process.
How can I get a copy of your book?
I'll give you one. I think I have one here.
We have one up here.
Yeah, I do have one here.
In Layman's Terms.
I do have one here.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'd love to read that.
Yeah.
Because just before the podcast, we actually said that. We talked about how if you have a reoccurring thought about once every 13 months or so, or even shorter, it just randomly pops up, that's something we should deal with. And if we don't, you'll always stay stunted in that moment in time. And until you deal with that, you can't move on.
Yeah.
And you take and go, all right, I'm going to write everything out in a book. All right, I'm going to deal with all in one shot. I love that. Yeah. But then you give it to other people to write.
What I liked about it is it forced conversations, tough conversations, right? So I wrote a very, very difficult chapter on not being born without a father, but my father not being in my life. And when me and my dad had that conversation, because I'll never forget, I called my dad. I was like, hey, Dad, I'm going to release this book. And I don't want you to feel a certain way, but this is how I felt. The conversation we had was like a 2-hour tearful conversation of just healing wounds. Wow. Right. And just and I think what the crazy part was, so I was in my industry at the time, and I never forget, they said, hey, Shawn, don't write the book. I go, why would you? And I talk about some deep stuff in the book. I had a little issue with drugs, and they go, don't write the book. I go, why would I not write the book? They go, you're in the investment world. If you write this book, this will be terrible for Strategic Wealth, one of the companies that I worked with. And I was like, I had this feeling over me, no, I got to write this book. Yeah. It's my piece to the world. Right. It's just my forgiveness. And I wrote it, and it was the complete opposite. We obviously, we do seminars, we do big events, and I'd come to the events. I'll never forget, one guy came up to me in New Jersey, and he's like, hey, I read your book. And I was like, oh, no.
Here we go, right?
And he goes, I'm going to give you every penny I have because somebody that would write that book in the position you're in and be as honest as you were.
Right.
That's honorable.
That's everything.
And I remember just being wow, all right, it is working. It's not working per se, but people understand.
Yeah.
Because we're all victims of circumstances. Yeah, it was a cool moment. And I just think I humbled myself to realize hey, it was that down on my knees moment where I was hey, I'm an imperfection person. Please help me.
Yeah.
And I'm not a writer.
Right.
And next thing I know, I'm holy smokes, I just wrote a book.
Wow.
Couldn't tell you how I started, couldn't tell you how I ended it.
Man.
And really? I just remember, truly out of body moment. Man. And to be able to do that. And then again, that tied into Josh and how me and Josh met. So again, kind of tying in Josh here. And y'all that used to.
Man, can I say one, before you jump on, I know, we're going to get you in Josh, man. Right? But go ahead and say it. So anyone that's listening to this right now that has a challenge in life, write it down. Tonight, just talk it into your phone, even if you talk it out and then correct the spelling. Get it out. The moment it comes out of you, you open the floodgates of life. That's what you just said.
So true.
You go, the floodgates opened up the moment I got it out of me. And I've experienced this. And it's when we hang on to this stuff and we go within our cocoon, we don't live the true story of our life. And how many people, they're not experiencing the vividness of their life because they're being someone they're not supposed to be. They're being something, they're being a fraud, a fake. And authenticity, you were born to be something, and you should be proud of that. Yeah. Put it in writing and tell the world, and watch how the world goes, I want to be more like that. Because they want to experience the vividness of their life. They want to tell the truth. The only thing we have is the truth, right? And that's where you say, I just said the truth. I called my dad going, hey, Dad, I got a book coming out. It might hurt you, but it's the truth. And just like that, it's like the old saying, the truth will set you free.
Yeah, a good thing that I would sum up what I said is the devil kept me in darkness.
Right. Wow. Powerful stuff.
They didn't want me to talk. Don't talk about your wounds. I want to control you. I want to control your mind. And when I released it, my whole life changed. Wow. It's funny. I meet with Josh, and I'm posting online. I'm kind of doing how you are. I'm very this is another big thing. I'll tell anyone listening to this. When you speak about things you want, people will disappear that don't want those same things.
How true is that? That's a good statement.
So when I started speaking about I wanted to have a happy marriage and I wanted to have children, I wanted to live a life of sobriety, and I wanted to get away, I started realizing I lost a lot of friends quickly. And it brought me back to, I don't want to get too spiritual, but it brought me back to like just my spiritual journey and understanding like, wow, like as I got closer to my calling in life, my circle completely shrunk. And I end up meeting Josh. He sees me writing online and we do dinner. This is a really cool story. We're talking at Call I'll never forget this. And I'm telling him my testimony. And we didn't know each other that well. We're two 30-year-old grown men sitting at Taylor West, and he starts crying.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, why is this guy? I was so taken back. I was like, why would someone that I don't know that well share such a deep emotional feeling with me on my testimony? Like I felt he felt my pain in the moment.
The connection.
And I said to my wife, we're walking out, I was like, hey, like I think I'm gonna do something strange. She's like, what? I think I want to make partners with Josh. Wow. I think I want to bring him to my business. She's like, why would we do that? I was like, he has such value, he's got such purpose, he's such a deep level integrity guy. I think we could really change the industry. And we prayed on it. And I'll kind of
so for me it was personal. I watched mom and dad lose half of what they saved twice. And I know today the purpose is about time and how you spend your time. Right. And as they got closer to retirement, I knew I had to fix this. I knew I had to go on this journey to figure out how they make mistakes and how can they adjust it so that they can spend the time they want to for the rest of their life.
Right. When you talk about the moment that you guys just met and you're two 30-year-old guys talking and you're telling your story and Josh is over there in tears, I think of the word empathy. Because empathy, it's not disregard of others, it's disregard of yourself. And when you're tuned in yourself, you can have empathy for the people around you. And when you feel it, the world feels it. But if you're not tuned into yourself, you won't feel it and no one feels it. That was the moment that struck it. That was that. Yeah. Man, you guys give some chills over me. Look at this, It's crazy. I've heard you talk about your parents. I think it's the fourth time now, where it just meant so much that I'm going to do whatever it takes to make sure my parents don't enter this world again where they've built this wealth up and then it collapses to zero. Build it up, collapses to zero, right? What were you doing before all this?
So my background, I'm an engineer by trade, got into the chemical distribution business, and I always had that entrepreneurial itch. So at 22, bought my first rental property. By 23, I had 3 of them. Tried a couple different businesses. They never took off. And as I went on this hunt for mom and dad, I figured there's got to be other people just like mom and dad that are looking for a better way, that are looking for solutions to how to solve the time issue, the money issue. And that's when Shawn and I reconnected. And I said, if I get out of my comfort zone and just share my story like Shawn shared his story, what people can I impact with my life, with my story?
Right. So you two are the most see-through people I've ever met, which is awesome. You know what I mean? Like you can see right through you. A lot of people they walk around with a cloak. You really don't. It's kind of like social media. You know about them, but you don't really know them. You know what I mean? With you guys, I feel like I see right through you. And even on a personal level, guys. I don't know if you all know, but strategic wealth had me do an undergrad experience for everyone that was ever part of Strategic Wealth. It was down to the promenade shops. And guys, there was how many people were in the room? It was crazy. 300 people in the room. And I remember going to this, thinking, man, these guys trust me so much to put me in front of everyone that counts on them. Yeah. The trust. See the chills? The trust is huge. Yeah. This world is lacking trust. And when you meet people that just trust, I just trust you. I'm going to begin with a position of trust and we'll go from there. Grab a hold of that and stick with it forever. I mean, I love you guys. I can't thank you enough for in trusting me to speak words into your the people that you work with, your clients, your family members, your people that you talk to every day. Basically you're signing your signature on Randy before you really knew Randy. That's huge. It's you. You didn't know me that well. I mean, you knew me, but you didn't know me. So, and this is why I'm doing this podcast, guys. Yeah. Because like, if you're looking for an authentic, real, someone that you can sit with and you're knowing you're getting the real deal in the financial world, call up Strategic. I mean, it's just that simple, guys. Yeah. I mean, it's just that simple. You know, like it's.
We feel the same way.
It is, yeah. I've never done it before, by the way, with the financial company. Never. You know, it's like, I haven't, I just feel like if there's anyone that I would want to put on a platform and go, guys, here it is. I love them. I trust them. And I know that if someone listens to this and they go, oh, if Randy says it, let's go visit there. No one will ever call me and go, hey, Randy, remember you told me? I'll never get that call. Because I trust y'all, you know? I mean, it's great stuff. You know?
The first time we heard you, so how we got connected to you, Shawn and his wife Carol brought us up as a team. Yeah. And everybody's spouses came there, and I'm in tears 5 minutes in. Yeah. And what I realized was the message you had tied in with our message about money and time.
I feel it. Yeah.
Is it? Yeah. There's more to just a living. Go spend a life, right? Go build a life. Go do the things that you want to do. Go spend a life.
That's really good. Yeah. Yeah,
I agree with Josh. When we first came to see you, I mean, again, you said we don't know you that well. I think what caught me off guard with you is your genuineness and your authenticity. Mm-hmm. You could feel it. I mean, I feel like I'm now. Underground experience was, in my opinion, it's probably my top 5 most memorable experience I've ever done with my wife and just me personally.
Wow. Being
able to hear somebody, what I like about what you did, and you do the same thing we do. You brought emotions into what you do for a living. Mm-hmm. So I feel like when I was at your event, you weren't trying to sell me anything. You were just doing your calling.
Yeah.
And it just happened to pair with how I think.
Yeah.
And then everything beyond that point was just almost, hey, I'm here to just embrace this moment. Yeah. So I didn't ask what the price of wine was. I really didn't care. Yeah. I could care less about anything. And then the beautiful part about you, which I do have to say this on your podcast, is when we decided to pair with you and hold this event with 300 plus people. One thing that touched me so heavily on you, and I will tell you, I'll take it to my grave and how I maneuver, was when I asked you, hey, like, what's this going to cost? And how does this all, and I just remember your like authenticity of saying like, don't worry about it. Like, we're good. Like, this isn't going to, I'm here to help you guys.
Figure it out. It's all good.
That doesn't exist in today's world. And all your success, I can clearly see how it's happening because it's just goodwill happening to someone that is a good person.
Yeah.
And that's, for anyone that doesn't know you like we do, I think all people should aspire to live a life like that. And I think we're both doing that.
Yeah. It's all about the more you give, the more you receive.
100%.
And you cannot get what you don't have. The more you get, the more you receive. The more you can give, the more, and life just spirals upward that fashion. Yeah. And a lot of people, they don't, but in order to do that, it is a leap of faith.
100%.
You have to trust that I'm gonna make myself vulnerable, and they're not gonna lock me off. You know what I mean? But sometimes you will get locked off. That happens. Now I've been burned lots of times. I tell the story in my book. I had a lady steal $50,000 from me one day, but that will never make me not trust another team member, another employee, because that was Diane. It wasn't Kathy. It wasn't Lizzie. It was it happened. It was isolated incident. But do you guys think that you are pursuing your purpose in life right now? What you're doing?
I know I am, 100%. Mm-hmm. Every day I wake up, I don't feel like I have a job. Mm-hmm. I come to work with family, not employees. Mm-hmm. And I feel like it all comes natural for me.
Yeah.
And that's what I would tell anybody, anyone that's kind of undecided if what they're doing in life. If you're going to work and you're not smiling and you're not happy, don't give up. Just keep searching.
Right. It's so true. Oh, that is the best advice ever.
Yeah, just don't give up. Right. Keep searching. Right. And you'll find it. I'm a firm believer you'll find it. Mm-hmm. And when you find it, you'll know it.
Yeah.
And I think the best part I said to somebody the other day is I'm unemployable.
That's the best.
Because I love what I do.
Yeah.
I couldn't get paid enough to walk away from this career or this job. And it does make it, you can smile a lot more often when you're in that position.
That is the key. How do you become unemployable in life?
Yeah.
Right?
Same thing on my side. I'd say I'm following my purpose right now.
Living it out.
When you trust the man up above and follow his plan for your life. Now, it took me a long time to figure it out. Yeah. But after 35 years, I figured it out. And the impact we can have not only on the people on our team, but the people we bring on board as clients that become part of our family. To even further than that, we speak in front of 3,000-4,000 people every year. And my goal when I heard you speak was I want to impact people that don't become clients. and just have a better experience, that we touch their life in some way, that they leave that event and they say, wow, I'm a better person because we came to your event. We came to your...
How cool is that? Yeah. I asked you about meaning and purpose in life. Are you pursuing your purpose? Because like that is one of the biggest things in the world that people are missing. In a sense, they, as a young child, they'll begin to trade dollars for their purpose. They dream of being one thing. I want to be this in my life. This is what I want to do, but I don't know how I can make money at it. So I start to do this other thing because I see the money over here. And then they stick with that so long that they get really good at doing it. And then they get paid for the rest of their life to do something they hate. And when you're living your purpose in life, you get paid for being simply who you are. And this ties right back to what I said to you. I feel like I can see right through you. You're authentic. You're here on purpose with a purpose, and you can see right through you because you are living your purpose every day. I want to tie those two things together because that is exactly what I feel walking the strategic. You know, I don't mean to be a commercial guy, but I just love these guys. You know, I love them. You know, for real. I mean, I do. This is why I'm asking these hard questions. You know, meaning, purpose, you know, so on. So talk to me. So what is you know, someone you're talking to on a daily basis, right? Let's say that the person that worked at, let's say they worked over here at B-Braun, right? They retired from B-Braun, and they got a retirement plans and everything in place up there, and they call you up and they go, guys, we want to make a change. We have no idea what that change is. Because you probably get that a lot, right? Yep. I have no idea. I don't know what a 401k is. I don't know what a Roth is. I don't know what these things are. Help me. What would that conversation look like from that moment?
I know for me, it's what I see so often is most people don't have a good understanding of what they have, nor do they have a good understanding of the relationship that they're in.
Right.
So what I tell people is I say the first things first is we got to understand each other. Right, you got to set an understanding of who they are. What are their desires? What are their wants in life? You know, because everybody's different. And then really the plan comes out of that, right? Some people, you know, they want the last check to bounce. And some people, you know, want every check they make to go to charity. Yeah. So just trying to understand who they are as people. And then I think this is the big thing, having a true relationship with the people. I tell people most advisors call the people probably like 2-3 times a year if you're lucky. We probably call our clients 2-3 times a month at sometimes, and we've got a lot of clients. But having the team behind us to kind of help us do that implementation of just getting to know the clients better, so they don't feel like it's just a transactional situation. It's what has grown our business. You know, 50% of our business is probably from people either bringing on more assets to us or referring us people. So when the clients are showing you that tells you that you've got good implementation in place. Right. And just kind of getting to know the clients, what they're looking to do, you know, who they are, and getting to know them better instead of simply calling them once or twice a year and saying, oh, hey, you know, the account's up. You know, we try to find out anniversary dates, you know, if the widow's passed, you know, special dates for them. That means a lot to a lot of people. And then you get in the nitty-gritty stuff, you know, do they want some type of equities portfolio, that type of stuff. Then you kind of get more detailed on that end. Sure. But yeah, all those things come into play.
Gotcha. Yeah, it really is a specific for every single person.
100%.
Yeah.
In today's world, people want the relationship. They don't want a 1-800 number. And how often do we get through prompts with our financial company? And people just want this, like we're doing today. Just the conversations to get to know them, their spouse, their children, and build deeper.
Right, I'm with you. Yeah, it's almost like your financial advisor should be like your local doctor. What it was a long time ago, where you go see the local doctor and check in. How's it going? It was very similar. You know, how's the health? Am I on the right track here? You know, because you guys would make micro adjustments as you're going along. You know.
Yeah, I mean, one of the craziest true statistics for me is we probably speak to 3,000 people a year, and we'll ask them a very simple question: is what do they have? Like, what's their money? And they can tell me 2 things: where it's at, which is, you know, Fidelity, Raymond James, you know, Edward Jones, and they can tell me how it's taxed, an IRA, a 401k, but they can never tell us what's in it.
Right. What do they actually own?
And I tell people, that's not a shot at anybody because I was once that person, but that's just the bar that the industry has set for people, which is to tell you very little. And my belief is that you, as someone that's a successful business owner, you don't want to know that little of your future. Right. You want to know as much as you can. So education's huge with our firm, and just getting clients to fully understand what they have. Super key.
Yeah. And you know, this actually ties into the idea that some people are nervous to know because it could be bad news.
Correct.
You know what I mean? And it's one of the things like you bury your head.
Yep.
But I would say hope is not a strategy. I'm like the king of hope, but hope is not a strategy. You know what I mean? It is not. Like right. It's not. It's like you need to know. And a lot of times, even just having that insight of, all right, this is where you're at, and this is where you're going to end up being right now. Do you want to be there? And you can then go, no, I don't want to be there. Let's develop a new plan to get somewhere else then. And that's huge. You know, that's huge. I think that's why the market as a whole, like the people have allowed that to happen. Whereas like, because they want to bury their head. They don't want to know. I don't want to know. They're like, let me just hope it works out. You know, hope is not a strategy, right? No.
Very true.
Right. So,
very true. I always say you'd be great at this business, but please, you stay in the wine business.
Right, stay in the wine world, right? You know, the guys, I love y'all. Man, thanks for being part of my life.
Thanks for having us.
Man, thank you. I'm so grateful. You know, the best is yet to come. Really grateful.
I do appreciate
Thank you, Josh.
it,
Man. Thank you. Thank you, Sean. Thanks, guys.